Everything's under control. Sorry, folks.
Which brings us, you kind of segue perfectly with the theme park stuff.
Ooh.
Because I think that this box office situation with Lightyear might impact the parks a little bit. We did a video the other day about how there was a rumor on WDWNT that it's rumored Disney wants to retheme Space Mountain permanently, by the way. That's the rumor, permanently to Lightyear Mountain. Now, Casual, I want to go to you first. Given the box office, right? Because these numbers aren't good. Do you think that's still on the table, or is Disney kind of looking and going, I don't know. Chapek looking at the data. I don't know. What do you think?
Personally, unless Lightyear had done $1 billion, there was no chance they were going to permanently retheme Space Mountain. Not a chance. No way. Maybe an overlay for a few months, but yeah, unless that thing was, beyond lightning in a bottle, and it was, it relaunched the Toy Story franchise into new heights, there was no way they were going to retheme Space Mountain like that. I just don't believe it for a second that was probably like one of those little things that was just tossed out in a meeting.
Yeah.
And somebody, ran and leaked it out that, hey, somebody wants to retheme Space Mountain. And so they ran with it. And got the clicks.
Also, to your point, Casual, about the meeting thing, I know Disney does this for a fact. Sometimes they put out some information, like a rumor or something like that, just to gauge audience reaction. And when somebody brought that up, I was like, ooh, I think that's what this was. It was to gauge audience reaction. And to your point, I mean, there might have been discussions about doing it at one point. It's like, okay, well, before we spend all these development dollars just kind of seeking this project out, maybe we put out a trial balloon, see how it goes, and do it right before the film actually launches. Let's see what happens here. And look, the reaction was very, very hard and fast. It was very visceral. It was like, okay, it's one thing to do something about Splash Mountain, but Space Mountain, you do not touch that, all that kind of stuff. This is an amazing attraction, and it is. I think the soundtrack by Michael Giacchino is fantastic. I think it's, I think Disney really likes the idea of, being able to overlay this attraction with any number of various themes. I think Disneyland really likes that flexibility, especially for its local populace, to bring them back and so forth. There's a lot of upside in, I think, keeping Space Mountain the way it is and theming aspects around it than actually going, full long into another seemingly just unnecessarily capital expenditure. Right. I mean, honestly, we're going to be, doing probably about over $100 million per Splash Mountain attraction here in the States, just on that. Are we really thinking that they're going to take Splash Mountain down as this kind of capacity machine? Probably 1,800 people per hour, roughly, give or take, along with another in the form of Space Mountain just across the way? No. It's unfathomable. And for what? You don't necessarily generate any additional demand. These things are in their respective parks, especially in the daytime, some of the most popular attractions in the park, getting the longest lines, even though their capacities it would probably prevent something like that. These are the highest wait time attractions in the park, and you're going to overlay this and do all this work for what exactly? It just doesn't. It just doesn't make any sense. Splash Mountain, okay. There's some additional backstory there that might be impacting that decision, right? But for Space Mountain, no. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
And the hilarious thing about the Space Mountain thing is you're not even like, it's already, like you said, already a popular attraction, but the IP that they're choosing, this movie Lightyear, isn't even popular. So you're not even, I don't even think you're even moving the needle in terms of demand. It really is a fruitless endeavor all around. There's literally zero benefit.
And that's the ironic part of it. I mean, look, we're celebrating and praising the fact that Splash Mountain's going to be overlaid with Princess and the Frog, right? I remember Princess and the Frog when it came out in theaters. It didn't really move the needle in terms of box office in the way that maybe people thought. I know that because a lot of 2D animators put a lot of stock into Princess and the Frog, saying, hey, look, if this film really makes the money, we're back in business here, boys. And then I remember a couple of months, maybe even years later, where a lot of those same 2D animators were fired because, well, if Tiana doesn't move the needle when it comes to box office, maybe we should get out of the 2D business and go into the 3D business. It's just, it just didn't move the needle. So you have that. Then you have Lightyear. Obviously, nobody's going to that. Are we really going to theme 2 attractions to things that people didn't necessarily show up to theaters to support? Right. For theme park attractions? It doesn't make any sense to me.
Makes no sense. The seasonal thing, like the Lightyear Mountain for like maybe this summer to promote the movie, cool. That's fine. That might be very interesting and kind of a cool way to market the movie. I can totally see that happening, but a permanent thing, and we discussed it on the last video. It doesn't seem, and especially now with this movie flopping or at least coming in very, very soft. I think it's dead on arrival. It's
now hilariously to go to the next subject in this whole kind of thing right here, which is Lightyear. Some people saw some setup for what they thought was going to be the overlay. Like, oh, look, there's stickers on the ground here. There's signage. What is going on here? Well, in fact, it was for the meet and greet that was going to take place near Space Mountain. And that got a lot of people up in arms thinking other things, right? Including myself, actually. I was like, oh, you got to be kidding me. What? But no, it was for the meet and greet. And that's had its own little line of controversy and, going back and forth on this.
There we go.
There he is.
There he is, the space character Buzz. So this is interesting. This is very, very interesting. Overall, I like the suit. I think it's kind of dope to have an astronaut again in Tomorrowland. They had one kind of similar in like the 1960s. Very, very cool. I like that whole idea, but it doesn't look like Buzz Lightyear to me. Just make him a generic astronaut at this point. He does not look like Buzz Lightyear. He doesn't look like the one in this movie, the last movies. It's not Buzz. It's just not.
Yeah, I think they would have almost been better labeling him as Tom Morrow and just, go with that. And everybody would have been all, Tom Morrow, hooray, look at how awesome he looks. Instead, this is Buzz Lightyear. That's not Buzz Lightyear.
That's
not Buzz Lightyear. No, that's not Buzz Lightyear. I mean, you try to tell the kids, this is Buzz Lightyear. That doesn't look like Buzz Lightyear.
Is it weird, too, how the suit kind of has almost a cartoonish aesthetic? Yet it's a face character. I always thought that was a little I like the suit and its design, but it just doesn't quite match up to the realistic face of the actor portraying him. It's just a very kind of weird thing. It doesn't really necessarily scream Buzz Lightyear to me, but this is Buzz, or at least they're trying to pass this off as such. And apparently, some members of the female persuasion are quite excited about this, maybe a little bit overly enthused about his inclusion in Tomorrowland, and saying some very interesting things on social media that I would, caution people, if the genders were reversed, it wouldn't necessarily look all that great. But, you've got that aspect to it. This is kind of a bizarre thing here. And I've seen these kind of inclusions before, and I think this is what really... I think Disney has kind of seen the Avengers campus model and said, let's go with that. And I think that can work in really great ways, like it does in Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, for example, right? Where you have Boba Fett, you have Fennec Shand, in there, you have Mandalorian and Grogu coming. I think it's a great way to promote these things, but this one, they maybe were ahead of their skis a bit in this iteration. Well,
it just looks like Prince Charming in a spacesuit, basically. It doesn't look. It's just wrong. It doesn't fit the character, at all. And it's really weird, really odd decision on Disney's part for this one.
Some people were saying that this was the actor for Gaston, and maybe, like you said, another prince, in Fantasyland or something. They they drug him and put him in the spacesuit and put him in as a new role, and that's why there might be some overlap there. It's
almost like they decided, well, Chris Evans is his voice. Let's find somebody that looks like Chris Evans. It's like, well, no, that's not. You need Buzz Lightyear, and it's like somebody. I think I saw a comment. It's like, where's the chin?
Right.
Yeah.
It's like, well, not everybody's got this gigantic chin, so.
You probably need somebody like closer to Patrick Warburton.
Yes.
Than the Ken doll kind of thing. I don't mean to disparage the actor, but it's just like there's a little bit of a disconnect there.
Disparage him by, sorry, dude, you look too good.
Yeah, exactly. You look a little bit too good, right?
Will somebody disparage me like that sometime?
Yeah, exactly.
That's exactly it, though. I mean, the guy is like, he's too much of a pretty boy for Buzz. It just doesn't work, It's weird. It's really weird.
It's a little awkward, and then those comments on social media, like I said, was not good. Weird energy.
Is Daddy Josh having a little competition at the parks?
I didn't even think about that, but you might be right, OG. You might be right.
Maybe.
Gonna see some Buzz Lightyear shirts soon.
Yeah, exactly.
In Sector 2. Malfunction in Sector 2. All droids will be shut down for reloading of labor programs. Stand by for power disconnect.